And the way to get there is far from ordinary. You must leave nothing untried to reach further, make things better, and bring the future closer to today. Our broadest family of electrified SUVs, on to better.
If I can dream.
On Friday the 5th of February, the EuroMillions Megadraw is back, and it's massive, with a jackpot of €130 million guaranteed. It's just too big to miss. The National Lottery. It could be you.
When it comes to truly awesome entertainment, we're not playing around. Simply switch to Virgin Media and you can pick up superfast broadband and TV 360 for just €55 a month for an incredible 12 months and €92 a month after that. The sale that keeps on giving. Now on. Bring on amazing. See virginmedia.ie.
Clean away unpleasant smells with Febreze Fabric Refresher and Air Freshener. Its Odor Clear technology works to eliminate odor, leaving a light, fresh scent. Febreze. Breathe happy.
Now, thanks for staying with us. Having just moved back to Ireland from South Africa before Christmas, our next guests are embracing the cold and making the best of lockdown as they work their different business ventures.
From the small screen to designing jewellery, broadcasting hero Gráinne Seoga joins us via Skype alongside her husband, former rugby coach Leon Jordan. Good morning to you both. Great to see you. Looking super, but how is lockdown for you both?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
It's lovely to talk to you. How is lockdown?
Right.
Liar.
We just mentioned there that it's so miserable and wet, not what you're used to at all. Gráinne, bring us back to you making the decision, both of you making the decision on returning to Ireland after so many years abroad. Why did you decide to come home?
Well, it really has an awful lot to do with Leon and Leon's family last year. I guess Leon should really tell this story.
Well, it was a time that we had to start reflecting about where we are and, in terms of family and balancing professional life and family life. And unfortunately, just before our wedding, the year before, my father passed away. So it was, we were probably waiting a bit for that. And then the decision was made. Gráinne's parents are still both here. The family is here, a support structure. And our business was here, is here at Grace Diamonds. And for various reasons, we decided to move back. And we probably couldn't have picked a better time, literally just before lockdown in South Africa, the day of container leaving, lockdown started. So nothing happened. We were stranded for 4 or 5 months, but we made it across with the doggies and all of them in tow. But that was the business and family, and to balance the two was probably the main reason, not the weather.
And not the weather, indeed. And I know, Gráinne and Leon, the pandemic has put things in proportion for an awful lot of people and perspective for an awful lot of people where they go, where are our priorities now and what do we want to do for the rest of our lives?
Absolutely. I think having this extra time to reflect, people have been jumping in the cars for years, commuting for hours on end, firing the babies into creches, collecting them, in the dark of night. All of a sudden, that's all gone. And you have time to think about what's important in life. And really for us, family became so important after we lost Gert, Leon's dad. And Leon kept saying to me, your mom and dad are hale and hearty, but you never know what life is going to bring. And really that made it crystal clear for me that, your family and your friends and the people who love you in life, that is the most important thing. And I think a lot of people are coming to that realization now because we can't see the people we love anymore. We can't be with those people. I think it is focusing everybody's minds.
Well said, Gráinne, and you're right. Unfortunately, you've made this massive move over to Ireland and you are in a position, like the rest of us, that you're not able to visit family and go out with them and enjoy your time with them. So in that regard, are you doing Zoom like the rest of us, or have you got plans for when we open up again?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a few. Both my brother's birthdays are in the next couple of days. My mother has a big birthday. She'll hate me for mentioning it at the end of February. We've had many lockdown birthdays now, and I think we are all in the Shoygut family storing up these celebrations. So when we come together again, there'll be so many things that we have to mark. But yeah, family WhatsApp group, steam is coming off it every day. We're sharing videos, especially of the grandkids. That gives everybody such a boost. And, you know, I found a couple of videos of when Sheila's Cathal was very small the other day and posted them, and Finn, my other nephew. And those things sort of bring the family together again and going down memory lane. It's really, really important, and it keeps that connection alive.
Yeah, and Galway, beautiful part of the world, but you were mentioning the weather there. Do you miss sometimes the weather in South Africa?
Do we what? You know, it's the middle of summer in Pretoria now. Yeah, we'd be enjoying weather like that right now if we were still in South Africa. Beautiful, sunny, dry heat. It's just wonderful. But I suppose you've got to weigh up these things and decide what's really important.
Yeah, you
and
do.
And
Definitely.
family still trumps the sun.
Leon, you actually lived here for years and worked here. So I suppose in one respect it was probably a little bit easier for Gráinne to convince you to make the move, because you weren't going into a place that was completely alien to you. So did you find, in a sense, that you were almost returning home as well?
Ireland has, from pretty much day two, been my second home. And it's there's a lot of similarities. So it didn't take a lot of convincing. In fact, there was probably a bit more of a push from my side to come over and to move back. Yes, we're adapting fine. It is my second home. I knew exactly what I was getting into, or what I was coming back home to, and I was really looking forward to it. Now, obviously, my family and friends, you know, they're on the flip side of all of this back home. But we take it as we can, you know, and we get over back to South Africa as much as we obviously can. But, you know, these days you kind of strain it and you can't. But that too will change, and that too will pass. And yeah, no, look, I adapt easily. I love Ireland, like I was, you know, very heavily quoted the last time. But yes, no, it wasn't a hard move.
And both of you obviously now have businesses. And Gráinne, when we watched Living with Lucy, and Lucy went down to you in your home in South Africa, and we saw from TV presenter and what you were doing here to the business you had there, and people were going, wow, how did that happen? And is that still going for you?
Absolutely. GraceDiamonds.ie is flying at the moment. We are dealing with a lot of clients because obviously life goes on, engagements, birthdays, anniversaries, new babies, it's all still happening, and people still want to market with special pieces of jewellery. So it's still going, thankfully, and we're very, very busy and grateful to be so. And I think Irish people appreciate something that an Irish business, particularly nowadays, people are trying to support their own rather than ordering from a business that they might know from overseas. So we really appreciate that. People are making a conscious decision to buy Irish.
Yeah, we've noticed that on the show, and we're doing the backing business a lot on Virgin Media, and we really are. And we have noticed, and people are saying it, that Irish people are so good at getting out and supporting Irish during all of this.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And I think we're both feeling it at the moment. Leon has just started a venture as well, and Irish people are really keen to support each other.
Gráinne, you really endeared yourself to the public during that show with Lucy. You had great crack. It was clear that you got on really well. But you also spoke very honestly, and I think it was a side of you that people didn't see before because you're a private person fundamentally. And you talked about some of the unkind nicknames people had given you, like Ice Queen, over the years. And Lucy was asking you about that. Did you feel really vulnerable when you were speaking so candidly about your experiences? And you know, were you happy with the love and support that you received afterwards?
I was blown away by the love and support that I received after the show aired. Genuinely touched and surprised by how many people said, we never thought that about you. It was just people wrote that. And I got hundreds and hundreds of messages like that, which was really, really lovely. And I still get them. People still hark back to that TV show. I think Living with Lucy really did make an impression on people. And the thing about Lucy is I didn't feel vulnerable at the time because she has such a lovely, warm nature about her. And I didn't really know Lucy at all before she came out. She knows my sister Sheila, but I'd only really ever met her at the TV Now Awards, or remember those?
Yeah. No, those awards
Good old
things
days.
you used to get dressed up to and go to.
And you'd say hi, and that was it. I knew her off the telly, but she has such a lovely, wonderful, warm way about her that it felt easy to talk about these things. And I'm glad I did, because I think people appreciate the honesty of it. And you're right, Laura, I am fundamentally private, but you know, sometimes it's good to air these things and solve them and sort of draw a line under them.
And you have your business, and Leon has his business now as well, starting up. But would you see a return to TV here in Ireland now that you're back here for good?
I'd love it if it was the right thing. I think, you know, Alan, with, Panto and Ireland AM and Laura, everybody's very busy and time's very precious. So I think it would have to be the right thing. But I love television. I've been doing it for nearly 25 years. And if it was the right project, I'd love to get back into it.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to both of you today. Alan mentioned that you're busy with your businesses. Is it hard being entrepreneurial in lockdown? Both of you have separate businesses now?
No, it's great. You know what they say, if you love what you're doing, you'll never work a day. And, Grania, obviously, the Brace Diamonds has been our main focus for many years. And now that I started Firebox.ie, it's all about barbecuing and how to do it for fry, as we say, and the right tools for it. And I think we're going to give people a support structure. Everybody realizes, that it's hard to travel, it's hard to get away. The Taoiseach has just announced more stringent rules, and there's more restrictions on movement. So people realize that they're going to have to look after their own social well-being by home entertainment or entertaining at home. And
Very much so.
All we need is the weather, the South African weather, to come and join us, and we'll be all there. Listen, thank you both very much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Leon and Grania. Now, our next guest has embroidered designs for some of the biggest names in the world, including First Lady Jill Biden's recent inauguration outfit. We chat to Irish designer Laura Webber next.
Ultra, it works miracles. Flash, Ultra, cleans up the impossible.
We all look